everyone, and peace of Christ to all of you. I hope my voice coming good and clear. Please invite your friends and let us have some good time together today. Today we'll talk about the miracles of Jesus and the unknown power of Allah. What we know about Allah, that He is a powerless person, but the Muslim, they claim He is all powerful, He is almighty, He is all, whatever, all you can imagine. Today, actually, we will use Skype to receive calls from Muslims. And in case there is any Muslim would like to join us, all what you need to do, just text me. And for sure, behave yourself. If you like not to get insult your prophet, not to insult yourself, I am not the one you can bully. And I guess you know that already. So if you are a Muslim who have something useful to say, we will be happy to hear you. And this is the link to find me in Skype. I think this is the easiest way to find me, baby. Let me see. Let me be sure first that this is the way to do it. You say share a profile. Okay. Connect with anyone by sharing link to your profile with them, even if they are not in your Skype. Okay. Let us see if that will work. All right. So if you like to join us, here we go. I post a link. I guess this will lead you to my new account in Skype. This is a new account. I will not keep an account for long, because each time I create an account, I will have hundreds and hundreds of people adding me. And, I'm not in Skype to chat, as you know. But people like to chat. So we use a Skype for one purpose, is to debate with Muslims, if we can create a debate. So if you are a Muslim, would like to join us for free, especially if you are a nice person, polite person, and you think that your God, He gave you good manner, you have to prove it to us by speaking nice, not to be like a low-class person. So talking about the miracles, if you notice, like in the beginning, I put a thumb for my video, Zakir Naik. Let me share with you this Zakir Naik. The screenshot I took, it was not really too much clear, but I think it's okay. So this is Zuzu. And Zuzu, he decided to explain to the Christians. Again, I don't know if the screenshot is coming clear, or in my side it looked very unclear, but I think we can read. Jesus PBUH never claimed divinity. Jesus PBUH said, I cast out devils by the Spirit of God. Anyone notice with me why we laugh at Muhammadan when they try to refute who is Jesus? From the statement we have in the screen. Who want to help me? Who would like to help? The answer is in the screen. So, the Muslim, they want to explain, okay, how Jesus can cast demon? How I can cast out a devil? Yeah, okay, Jesus said by the Spirit. Of who? Of God. So did we notice what the problem now? The Muslims, because they are silly, they just admitted that God has a spirit, and this is against Islam. So how you say that Jesus is a Muslim? So they agree with Jesus. If you watch the video of Zakir Naik, he agree. He says yes, So you will notice here how silly, how stupid those who call themselves scholars, because you just admitted that the true God is the one who have a spirit. And you Muslim, you say to us, where is the Trinity? And then here, if we go and read Matthew chapter 12, as he said, I cast out devils by the Spirit of God. So what I have with me, the Spirit of God. And then we need to ask ourselves, you see, if Jesus cast a devil out, that means he's giving commands. So if Jesus is a prophet, how a prophet can make a command and the Spirit of God respond by doing the command? He's commanding not the Spirit, he is commanding the devil. He's commanding the devil. But as you see, the command of Jesus is the command of God. For this Spirit is the Spirit of God. Are we following? So this Muhammadan, he thought he is being smart, and now you are in trouble when Jesus don't do miracles by himself, by the Spirit of God. But who said, Jesus, he said, everything I have is given to me from my Father. I was sent by the Father. But the Father, he glorified me, and I glorify my Father. You see, when the Father is, when Muslim they say, actually I saw a Muslim article in Arabic. They added words is not in the Bible, and I mean, I cannot find really a decency in this cult. You see, like when you speak to people from different religion, a religious person, he speak about his religion. You expect him to speak what he believe, but not in Islam. In Islam, it's just a deception. It's how we can lie to win an argument or to win a fool. So a Muslim, he will not really tell you the truth about what Jesus is saying, because if we go right now to Matthew 12, do you think that Zuzu, he did read Matthew 12 and he went all the way, but he did not read what is in the beginning? Is it possible that those Muhammadan, they did not read all chapter 12, they did read only one verse? If we go and read it, Matthew number 12, chapter 12, we will see great things. Then if we go, let us put it in the screen. Give me a second. Decency is a very rare between the followers of Muhammad. And remember, Jesus, he said, from their fruits you shall know them. People, they speak good, but they do bad. People, they speak about God, but they can be pervert. People, they speak about how wonderful they are, but they can always be the opposite. And actually, those who speak so good of themselves is the one you should know. You should worry about how good they are. So look, this is Jesus, and this is Matthew, and we went there, and we can read together, and we will see that the Muslims, there is no way they did not read what is written there. When the Pharisees see how many Jesus he healed, and the crowd were amazed about his miracles, They said this person he follow, you know, is this fellow, does not cast out demon except by Beelzebub, which is, you know, Satan, the ruler of the demons. But Jesus knew their thoughts. And the Quran, by the way, mentioned that Jesus, he can tell you what you hide in your houses, which means Jesus, he knew what is unseen. And thought is something we cannot see. I cannot see what is in your head. So Jesus, he knew their thought. How he knew it? For he is the Messiah. And he said to them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought in dissolution, and every city or house divided against itself will not stand. If Satan cast out Satan, you see, you know, many people, they say to you that Jesus don't debate. Actually, this is the best debater ever. Imagine they are accusing him that he is using Satan to cast Satan. So if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How then will his kingdom stand? And if I cast out demons, sorry, by Satan, by whom do your son cast them out? Therefore, and he's speaking here about the prophets, therefore they shall be your judges. But if I cast out demon by the Spirit of God, surely the kingdom of God has come upon you. So Jesus himself now, he speak, saying, this is the kingdom of God. I am. Or how can one enter a strong man's house and plunder his good, unless he first bend the strong man, and then he will plunder his house? So the Muslims, they took the quote, you know, and Jesus, he said, I cast out demon by the Spirit of God, but they forgot that Jesus, he just said how far his authority is. He have authority over Satan. Satan have no authority over Jesus. And when Jesus, he says, by the Spirit of God, for simply the demons are a spirit. So simply we cast the spirit out, the evil spirit, by the Spirit of God. But the Spirit of God work with Jesus as he command. Jesus, he says, get out of thee. The Spirit of God will do the work. So Jesus is telling us how it is happening. At the same time, he is saying us that his word is a command. He commanded the devil. And the Spirit of God is in his side. So when a Muhammadan he speak about this, he forgot that he just admitted that God have a spirit, and this cannot be angel. Spirit of God is not an angel. Because if it's an angel, that's mean there is spirits, you know, there is many spirits. Like one, you know, there's millions of spirit. When we say in like even the Muslim, when they say al-ruh al-qudus, al-ruh al-qudus, there is two L. You know, in English you say the. In Arabic, al is the same. So L, al-ruh al-qudus, is the Holy Spirit. Al-ruh, the Spirit. Al-qudus, the Holy. You know, in Arabic, the description, like, you know, it's not the same as in English. In English, you say a beautiful house. You put the description before the house. You know, in Arabic, no. You put the house before the description. So this verse actually described to us that Jesus never was alone in his mission, for always the Spirit of God is with him. And now we have the Father, we have the Spirit, and we have Jesus. And the Muslims, they say, where in the Bible we can find the Trinity? And then You will see here it says, therefore I say to you, every sin and blasphemy will be forgiven like to man. If you do, okay, you can repent and forgive, you will be forgiven. But doing that against the Spirit of God, will not be forgiven. Anyone who speak a word against the Son of Man, it will be forgiven him. Uh, who is the Son of Man? This is Jesus. But why they will? Because Jesus, he will forgive you. But there is a red line. Whoever speak against the Holy Spirit, it will not be forgiven to him, either in this age or in the age to come. Here we have a confirmation that the Holy Spirit is not an angel, because who is more important, an angel or Jesus? Even the Muslim, they will agree that angel is, even Allah will kill the angels at the end of the time, supposedly. So the angels, they have like an assistant duty. They are not really, who is more important for Muslim, angel Jibreel or Muhammad? They will say Muhammad, there's no question. So here you will see that the Holy Spirit is a red line, and the one who crossed the red line is not going to be forgiven for him. And the Muslims, they keep insulting the Holy Spirit. Now, I can say here that some people, they might insult the Holy Spirit because of their ignorance. They do not know. Muslims, they've been taught that Holy Spirit is Jibreel, and this is an insult. But I think in this case, a Muslim can be forgiven by Jesus, for he do not know. He is just an ignorant. Those are Jews, and they knew. Jesus was speaking to the professional Jews, not the illiterate one. So there is a difference between somebody knows and somebody is ignorant. And the one who knows what is the Holy Spirit, and he insult the Holy Spirit, that will not be forgiven to him. And then if we continue, see what Jesus said. Jesus, he mentioned something very important in the same chapter. And you ask yourself, did really Zakir Naik read the chapter? Because here we see that the Pharisees, they ask for a sign. But look, I mean, Jesus, he already did tons of signs. In the beginning, if you go on the top, from the beginning, speaking about how many people he did heal. And actually, there's down other verses in John, says nobody knows actually how many people Jesus, he said, if I want to count how many miracles Jesus he did, there's no books can count. There's no books can describe. There's no books can explain. So we see here that Jesus is the Lord of the Sabbath, and that is the Lord. The Lord only is the Lord of the Sabbath. Jesus, he do miracles in the Sabbath. Jesus, he heal any day he wish, anytime he want. Jesus, he do miracle nobody can do. And those who they are the enemy of Jesus, even though they are seeing amazing miracles, all what they care for is to find something they don't like about him, to accuse him of something. As an example, why you eat the bread? Don't you know that this is for the priest? Why you are healing in Saturday? Don't you know Saturday is the day of God? So they were questioning, and Jesus was refuting them with humiliation. And then you will see that Jesus, great multitude of people follow him, and he healed them all. Did Zuzu, Zakura, Read this. Is it possible that Zakura Zuzu did not see what verse number 15 and 16 is saying? Heal them all? A multitude of people, a huge crowd. What they are, why they are following Jesus? Every one of them, he have a request from the Messiah. What he did, he healed them all. You know, and then they say to us, why you say that Jesus is God? And you know, here we need to stop. And ask the Muslims. The Muslims, they claim that Jesus, he healed because of the leave of Allah. Allah gave him the power, no problem. But healed them all? Not one, not two, not three, not five, multitude of people. And the Quran mentioned tons of miracles of Jesus, like healing the blind, which means he created the eyes for him, you know. A person is born blind. It's not like, you know, I saw actually a video of Zakir Naik. They asked him, how come Jesus have a lot of miracles? He said, brother Titter, this is upon him at his time, the medicine was very advanced. And this is at that time, because the medicine was very advanced, Allah the Almighty gave him the power to do what it in the top of the what medicine. The medicine at the time of Jesus was very advanced. So at the time of Jesus, there was laser, there was a scan machine. In the time of Jesus, until now, who can make a blind see by touching his eyes? You see, I mean, the stupidity is beyond the stupidity. We are talking about miracles. What medicine? Healing, you know, resurrecting a person from death, and you tell me about medicine? So those stupid people, they try to find a solution, and they cannot find a solution. So in one hand, they say Allah gave him the power, but there isn't any proof that Allah gave him the power, because if Allah gave him the power, then Allah can do what Jesus does. And this is my challenge to the Muhammadan. Can Allah do what Jesus does? You know, in John 21, let me see. Just I want to be sure from the verse. You know, sometimes your memory doesn't help you. I think I'm sure from the chapter number, but I'm not sure. Verse maybe 24 or 25. Let me sure. Give me a second. Give me a second. Okay, we have a Muslim. His name is Hazim. Let us call Mr. Hazim. Let me know, guys, if his voice is not clear. We are calling him. And he is not answering. Hazim, add me to your list so I can call you. I guess maybe your setting don't accept people. Hakim Aziz, actually his name is Hakim Aziz. Add me to your contact so I can call you, because I'm trying. I don't know if you can receive it or not. So add me to be sure I can call you. I'll try again. Well, I don't know. Looks like he is not answering. Don't call me, I'm calling you. You cannot call me. You see, my setting don't accept calls. I call. So the only way to call for you to call me, if I add you to my list, and I add, let us see here. We have somebody. Look like my setting is accepting calls. I don't know. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yes, my friend, you are live on air. Go ahead.
There you are. Hello?
Yeah, you are live on air. Go ahead. Are you a Muslim?
Yeah, I called many times before.
Oh, all right. Well, I don't remember you. Go ahead. Tell me what do you think about our topic?
They're always really good. I just actually wanted to talk about one simple thing, Isaiah 29:12, or are we staying on the topic?
Well, I prefer if we finish what we are talking, and then if if we have time, we can go to different topic. No problem.
I'm sorry. Then I'll call back or
No,
something.
no, it's okay. But what do you think as a Muslim of what we were saying?
I was so focused on trying to do the Skype, and I was talking to everybody in the chat. Yeah, I'm starting. I don't know, man. I'm really back and forth with this. Honestly, I think it's pretty undeniable. I just, you know what it is, CP?
Yeah.
I think for me, all the prophecies, like you said, again, I'm going off topic, but this is just something I'm really struggling with myself. So the topic, I mean, it's undeniable. Yeah, I mean, Mohammed didn't heal anybody. He actually killed some people.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you. Jesus, he resurrect people from death, but but Muhammad, he can kill.
Right. Very. And I like the way you said, he came 600 years later. Why didn't he come a year after? It just, and then in all these things you've been saying the past couple of days, like why would Jesus come back to kill Jews, and then like why why do we fight Christians so much, but we say we love them so much, but we're killing them? It doesn't make any sense. And then I don't know, brother. I'm really.
Yeah. Well, there is many things about what Muslims claim about Muhammad, and the hadith which Muhammad he left behind is really exposing how silly his story is. I mean, 70,000 Jews, they will come and fight, and they will try to enter the city of Damascus. I mean, the number it doesn't make sense. They are carrying swords, and Jesus is behind the gate, and he will ask the gate to be open. And now we are in the time of like a drone and laser weapon and nuclear. Even nuclear is like an old weapon now. It's like a toy. So I mean, why does Dajjal is outdated with his weapon? What do you think?
Well, I think the whole thing about the Dajjal is a whole spiritual thing, right? But this is what I'm saying about, right, sir? Good sir. The whole prophecies are even in detail of certain things he said. It's like, okay, assuming he's from the devil, he's freaking terrible, right? So are these coming from the devil, or even like the hadiths that we all acknowledge came hundreds of years after? So it's either Muhammad was the best man ever and everybody got it totally wrong, or everything in history is right and Muslims will justify, but the Jews were going to kill him, Banu Qurayza or whatever. That's why he killed them. So there's always, I find it very funny as Muslims will say, hey, that didn't happen. But then many Muslims acknowledge it happened, and then they have a reason why it happened. I think that's very laughable. The jazz weapon, I don't know, brother. Isn't there a whole beast? There's a lot of stuff in Islam. Like there's going to be a beast. He's going to come from the water.
You see, let us assume that this Dajjal is a real person. But you know, like we are speaking about prophecy to happen, and this prophecy, in order to happen, this will be the end of the time. You know, so the end of the time. You see, if we take the story in a metaphorical way, it might work, but there's no way to take it metaphorical. Muhammad is speaking about physical things. As an example, Jesus will land in the minaret of the gate of Damascus, correct? The minaret is a physical place. The gate of Damascus is a physical place. Damascus is a known place. People of Damascus are people of Damascus. Dajjal is coming with 70,000 people who they are Jews. Jews are people. They are not, you know, aliens, and it's not metaphorical. And they are carrying swords. So there's no place for metaphorical to make it, to escape it, like to say maybe this is symbolic for something else. No. And then we will find that even when Dajjal, he you know, Muhammad, he come with many stories. As an example, here we see that a Dajjal is being killed next to Damascus, but in different place we see that Dajjal is surrounding Mecca, and the Muslim, they will use the arrow of the army of the Dajjal for 7 years to make firewood. You know, 7 arrows. So the barbecue for 7 years. I mean, we're talking about the Judgment Day. You know, so why the Dajjal is using arrows when the Saudi now they have a Kalashnikov, and they have F-16 they bought from the American, and what the Dajjal arrows will do? You know, and we cannot say this is metaphorical for something else, because the Hadith says they will use his arrows for fire. You know, so it's
yeah.
Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, okay.
Oh, I was going to ask, what's your opinion on Imran Hussein, because he gets very, you know, a lot of Salafis hate him and the way he interprets things and his opinions on the Dajjal and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
you know, the Pakistani guy.
Well, you know, this guy is confused, and obviously because he's confused, he bring confusion. You know, he add more confusion to the confusion. So he tried to fix problems, and the more he tried to fix, the more the fire is in, you know, in madness.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, you know, all these terror groups, I don't know. This is very, you know, it's very troubling when somebody says, what did ISIS do that Mohammed didn't do?
Yeah, we don't want to. My friend,
I have to tell my family, like, what do you guys want me to say to Christians when they say this stuff? And then people got upset at me. How could you say these things? And I'm like, but I debated CP for 3 different phone calls for about 8 hours, now 6 hours, whatever. But you guys didn't do that. You won't do that. You probably can't even keep a conversation with CP. But you want to get mad at me because I'm learning things and I want answers. And I don't know. The imams are not calling me back, brother. So it's very,
yeah.
It's not they're not making the situation better, right? By showing no confidence. Just all these things I see, you know, the way the woman is always being mistreated, and I agree with, she shouldn't go there because it's not safe for her to be around a pack of wolves, but how they're attacking that, and then the Salman Rushdie thing is just my mind's always constantly thinking about the stuff, and sometimes I have to take a break. You know, that's why I commend you, because it's you know, it's a lot of energy that you're putting into this. I really commend you. I know you're working for the Lord. I don't know.
So my friend, are you like an ex-Muslim now or what? Because I don't remember.
Yeah, I'm the one that had the dream of Jesus.
Okay. So, you know, because I don't know really, you know, too many people speak to me, and it's hard for me to remember. So you are an ex-Muslim now, right?
I'm looking at religion from the academic point of view. That's all I'll say. I mean, I don't fast during Ramadan for certain reasons, but I don't know. I find myself when I use like inshallah and I use these phrases now, it kind of bothers me, and I'm just like, it doesn't sit right with me. But I'm just doing it out of, and I gotta say, you know, this brings a funny question that I had that, like, maybe when I'm get nervous or something, right, or somebody's not feeling good, I might say Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Like, it's something that I've said my whole life that brings me calm. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, I think just certain traditions that are you're grown up with. It's not that you have to respect it or you never leave it, but I find that for me personally, going to a new religion is going to take some time, because it's like the red pill. You know, you're in the Matrix, you took the red pill. Okay, Islam is not everything. Like, whoa. It's like coming out of, it's like doing a psychedelic. Like, I know you don't do drugs, but it's like coming out of a trip out of drugs. You're like, whoa, I thought that was, your whole life is a lie. So how do you think somebody's going to feel, you know? But then I hear these Pakistani boys or whatever, I know, like, these people, and they just switch right away, or these Nigerians that are just like appalled, like, oh my God, he's racist, Mohammed, or whatever. I just feel like for me, it's
somebody,
it's overwhelmed me so much. It's taken a very long time.
Somebody
not leaving Islam it's like, okay, I'll say this. I was watching your videos, got really heavy into it, and then I had to stop watching everything, and then in the back of my mind, it's like, man, but what are we gonna do about this? Like, okay, and then I watch more videos, and then, because you're like my favorite YouTube channel right now. I watch all the videos all the time, a little too much, honestly. So I find myself like very bothered by it, even more than I want to accept. You know.
So
bring me a lot of anxiety.
do you?
My anxiety's at all-time high. I'm very nervous all the time.
So what do you think of Muhammad now? Like, what is your opinion? Is he a prophet for you or no more?
Wish I could be back there back then to see what really happened. But with, you know, the red velvet underwear and all these things, it's like, okay, you know, if you guys read that about Jesus, I don't think you'd believe in Jesus. So it's like, you know, the thing for me, seeing the similarities with Islam and Mormonism, that's really, you know, the people that leave the faith, they're mocked at, and they're, you know, killed possibly. And just the similarities, you know, the way he had sex. The thing that really gets my mind, when I get past the emotion, CP, when I tell myself, okay, brother, I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
Like, really, when I really just sit down. Okay, this guy said, if I look at any woman, I get to have her. So then I imagine my uncles or my mother or whoever, and I'm like, and then somebody in my family, you know, when they killed that teacher in France, and he was like happy about her or proud, or he was saying that guy, he did something good. It made me very sad. I was like, look at how religion's controlling my family. I was like, and I told them, bro, I told them that's not okay, you know, like he has the right to make a photo of Muhammad, like anybody can, like they shouldn't be harmed for that. And the Salman Rushdie thing, it just, none of the Islam is, and then
yeah,
it's everything, you know, the comments I'm leaving on YouTube,
my friend, I'm happy really to have you, and because just we want to continue on our topic, and there is some other Muslim trying to call. Maybe you can listen a little bit, and maybe later if you can join us if you like. So let us take another call and see what the other Muslim, maybe they don't agree with you, you know.
No, I just, my mind races so much talking to you, CP, so forgive me. And I know
You're
my
right.
mind goes on so many different subjects.
Yeah. All right. All right. Thank you very much for calling.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Take care. All right. Let us see the Muhammadan. Obviously, this guy is just playing games. Let us try to call him anyway. All right, he don't want to answer. Let me block him. No problem. Uh, all right. Who is a Muslim would like to call us? Who is a Muslim would like to call us? Yeah, so today we have an example of a Muslim who, he listen, he don't agree in the beginning, he reject, he fight, and then he give up. Muhammad obviously is a fraud, is a scam, and nobody can really refute that. I was going to talk about John, John chapter 21. Let me search for the verse. Give me a second. And you can use any translation you wish, doesn't matter really for me. Translation is always translation, will never be perfect, accurate, 100%. That's why we call it translation. But you will see if you go in John, yeah, actually I was right. Yeah, or I thought maybe 24, it was 25. So John 21, 25 says, and let me put it on the screen. Let me open it. It showed me, like, I opened this page, it shows me like 100 translation. I want only one. Just give me a second. All right, that will do. Let us put it in the screen. And let us zoom in. John 21, 25. It says, and there are also many other things which Jesus did, that which, if they should be written, everyone, I suppose that even the word itself could not contain the books that should be written. Can you believe it? So what is written about Jesus' miracles is way small number, because I mean they are just telling us like important incident happened in the life of Jesus. But if we want to write all the miracles, there's no books. I mean, this is you have to take this like, just think about it. What John is saying, that there's no books, is enough to write what Jesus did. We are talking about a miracle himself. He is a miracle. Wherever he goes, miracles happen. So like the previous verse we saw here, it says he healed them all. So imagine, we do not know how many there are. The Bible did not mention how many, but it says a great multitude followed him. And all those people, they want what? They are not coming to listen to a lecture or a speech or a seminar. Obviously, each one of them, he have a health issue. What Jesus did, he healed them all. Now, if we compare, I don't want to compare Jesus to Muhammad. That will be even stupid to do. Muhammad is just an idiot, the idiot of the village. But the Muslim, they say Allah is their God. Okay? My challenge to the Muhammadan, Can Allah do any, just one of the miracles of Jesus? Any Muslim can help us? Can Allah do any? You see, we are showing you what the Bible is saying about Jesus, that those books are not really containing everything we are telling you about Jesus, or we want to tell you, because there is no books can describe. There's no books. The whole word will not be enough. And actually, the Bible says that everything created by him and for him. So imagine I want to tell you, I want to write for you how God he made the eye. When a doctor he studied the eye, or you want to study to be a doctor, an eye doctor, how many books you need to read in order to graduate? And you are not the eye maker, you are just studying the eye. So all those books is just to explain to you how the eye function, not how to make the eye. There's a huge difference. When you buy a product, the manual, like for manual for the TV, go to setting, click here, click manual, change the size of the pictures, then change the resolution. But to make the resolution is totally different level of complication. They are giving you opportunity to use your remote control, very easy. Like if Muhammad can do it, you can do it. But when we talk about the creation, how big the book will be? So there is no book can describe and count the amazing miracles of Jesus. In the same time, we open the whole Quran. What Allah do? Aka Muhammad? All the miracles of Jesus is from Allah. That's it, from Allah. Well, you know what? If this is true, then Allah can give you a miracle the same as He gave to Jesus. Very simple. If Allah is the one who gave it to Jesus, can't Allah give one of them to Muhammad? Muhammad, he have his, according to Muslims, he have his children died one after one. I believe Muhammad, he cannot have kids, but I will go with the Muslims that Muhammad, he have kids, and his children, they die one after one. Well, why Allah? I mean, those are the most beloved to Muhammad. Muhammad is crying. Muhammad is the #1 person in the whole world created for Muhammad, as Muhammad he claimed. Shouldn't Allah do something for Muhammad? Muhammad is desperate to want to have a son. Just give him a son. Let the son live. Can't Allah do that? So while Jesus was healing multitude, maybe thousands, he healed them all. While John described for us that we cannot write for you. There's no books can write what Jesus did. We cannot find the miracles of Muhammad in the Quran. I want people to focus with us on the topic. Our chat here is not to talk about the Greek Orthodox or different. Baptism is a baptism. There's nothing is called Orthodox. We are baptized by the Holy Spirit, not by the Catholic, not by the Protestant, not by the Orthodox. So if you are not mature, you can leave. Here we are mature Christians. Here we are warrior for Christ, not for a church name. Christians are baptized by the Holy Spirit, not by a priest, not by a bishop, not by a patriarch, not by a Christian prince. Those who follow the man, they will die with the man. Those who follow God, they will live with him. So be smart and don't be foolish. Do we have any Muslim can explain to us or can tell us if Allah can do one miracle of Jesus, just one. I can claim right now that I am the one who gave Jesus all the power. For sure, people will laugh at me. And this is exactly why we laugh at Muhammad. Because in order to prove to us that you're God, who came 600 years after Jesus, he gave those power to Jesus. Well, why he don't give you not even one? A blind man, he came to Muhammad. He's not even asking to heal him because he knew Muhammad is useless. The useless Muhammad, the most obvious false prophet, he was kissing a black stone. The false prophet, when he see an eclipse, he go crazy and he stop praying and he cry. Jesus, he control nature. When the storm happened in the sea, and Jesus is just relaxing, his eyes is closed, and they were terrified. He said to them, your faith is weak. I'm with you. What he did, he ordered the nature. Muhammad, he go not when the eclipse happened. So when a Muslim he claim what he claim, can he prove it that Allah can do as Jesus does? Can they? They cannot. We have our Skype open in case they dare, you know, to prove us wrong. Let us see here. Okay, still we have no Muslims, no problem. That's fine. And guys, please do me a favor, don't send me hello, greeting. You see, this is the problem. We make a Skype to receive calls from Muslims. If we say Christians can't call us, even, you know, I mean, there is no need for hello, greeting from Australia. So I'm here for a reason, and I'm not here for chatting. And honestly, I know that there's many of you, they are wonderful people to meet, and I would love to meet you. But you know, we have something really important to do. And your text coming to me during the live is just, you know, you're disturbing me. That's all. You know, like now, we stop talking about the topic and we are talking about your text. Do we have any Muslim want to say anything? Any Muhammadan? The miracle of Muhammad is mentioned in the hadith that Muhammad, he used to sleep with 13 wives in one night. And then at the end, he wash. What do you think about the author of the Quran? If you have a chance after your topic, no problem. What do you think about the author of the Quran believe that women have a sperm? Well, this is a miracle. And not only they have a sperm, their sperm is coming from their ribs. Actually, it's not only the ribs, the upper side of the ribs. This is what the Quran says at Tara'ib. Tara'ib is the location where the top two ribs in the women's neck meet together. So according to the Sahih Quran, which is additional proof that Muhammad is a fraud. I mean, we are talking about God who made the women, right? And the God who made the women, he do not know that women don't have a sperm, do not know that this is even a stupid location to mention. So we have a million reasons to confirm that Muhammad is a fraud, but one is enough. One is enough. You know, if we have a person, he go to court and he said 100 sentences turned to be true. And then he said 10 sentences to be lie. Isn't he a liar? He is. So if Allah is God, Allah, aka Muhammad, he said Mary was a virgin. This is true. He said Jesus is the word of God. Well, this is true. Sent down to earth. This is true. Jesus, he healed the blind. He healed the leper. He resurrected people from death. He can read your thought. He can tell you what you are hiding. This is true. So there's many things is true. Allah aka Muhammad, he said, but that will not change the fact that he is the biggest false, obvious false prophet ever we heard of. For he made thousands of lies. And he used few things about Jesus, which is true, in order to deceive. Mir al-Kafi, a Kafi, why you don't call me, my friend? And instead of talking about a black me and not a black me, are you the one who try to send me pictures in Skype? Is that you? What you were sending me, that you are taking drugs? No, he sent me pictures of drugs. I mean, I don't download, you know, but I can see them without downloading them. He sent me pictures of drugs. I don't know what the heck is that. So, you know, the challenge is very simple. Okay, we have a question from a Muslim. Mir Akaif, Christians answer. My question, Jesus said, I can of myself do nothing. As I hear, I judge. For my judgment is just for the sake, for I seek not my will, but the will of my Father. So how he can be God? Well, my friend, what? Okay, when you should read this verse, did you read the verse after it? Did you read the verse before it? What about you call me? And me and you, we will read together what the verse is saying, and either people will laugh at me or they will laugh at you. What do you think? Do you like to call me? Are you there? Mir? We will open exactly the verse you are showing in the screen. And then either people, they will see that you are right, and you and Muhammad, you know, Muhammad will never be a winner anyway, because still he's a liar. I mean, even if this is what you are saying is true, it's what meant, still that want to change the fact that your prophet is a fraud. But why you don't call me? And we are going to show the verses on the screen and convince the people. What do you think, people? Do you have an excuse? Do Mr. Mir have any excuse? He have no excuse. I'm waiting. Until now, I'm looking at Skype. I see no comment from you. Give me your Skype. I will search you and call you. Who is a brave Muslim? This guy is obviously he is you know, afraid. Who is a Muslim? who dare to call us and read the verses which Jesus he said in that chapter? Anyone? Look like the Muslims, not only they are terrified to speak of what they claim, they are just copy paste and they are retreating their challenge. They are like Kadyrov. Kadyrov, he came with a couple of trucks full of men to fight the Ukrainian, and then the Ukrainian, they kicked him like a dog, and now he's crying, it's not my fault, it's not my fault. So why you don't call me to read it? Okay, forget about the smear. Who is the really brave man? He can call us and read the verses our friend here he mentioned, and I will put them in the screen. Anyone? I'm sure there's many brave Muslims here. What do you think? One of the funny things about the Muhammadan, that they go the same as Zakir Naik, he said, because he's silly. He said Jesus, he cast demon by the Spirit of God. Why you don't read for us what that chapter is saying? What is the problem? Why we don't want to read? Why we don't want to mention what he said? Jesus is speaking to the Jews as a man, and they look in front of them, they see a man. Okay, who is this person who he claimed, what he claimed? So Jesus saying that the flesh in front of you, this is the flesh of a man, can't do nothing. But I am as a Christ, not as the man. This is why Jesus called himself the Son of the Man, the Son of the Man, the Son of the Man. But all of us, we knew that the Christian believed that Jesus is Son of God. So how he called himself Son of Man? Because now he is in the flesh of the man. So the man by himself cannot do anything. It's a flesh. A flesh, if you cut the skin, will bleed. If you cut the neck, will die. But this flesh, for God is within, he can do what nobody can do. So the flesh by itself is nothing. It's just a flesh. If you go to the same chapter this Abdul was mentioning, you will see the same chapter saying that Jesus, he made himself equal to God. But why the Muslim did not read that part? Why the Muslim refused to read that part? Why the Jews, they wanted to kill him? In the same chapter. Because he made himself equal to God. So was Jesus, how come the Jews, they did not see it as the Muhammadan? I mean, why the Muslims are so smart? How come the Jews did not see it? Oh, this guy, he is claiming to be his nobody. You know, this guy, he's nobody. That's it. The Jews, then they should say, okay, he just admitted that he is nobody, and Zakir Naik understood it. So why the Jews will not understand it? But the Jews, they were so angry from Jesus for very simple reason. Jesus, he forgives sin. Jesus, who are you to forgive sin? Who are you to say to this man, carry your bed and walk? Let us show you the verses he is quoting so we can laugh at the Muhammadan who is trying copy paste people. They are copy paste people like their prophet. Abdul is Abdul, what you can say. I mean, you cannot change that. And never take a quotation from Abdul, because they add words, they take words, they change translation, and they lie as usual. So here we go. Let us post it here. This is John chapter 5, as you see. And here we have a very beautiful story about Jesus, who they are a great multitude, as you see, of sick people. I mean, look, the Muslim, he just did lead us to other chapter in the Bible, saying clearly how powerful Jesus is. Great multitude of sick people, blind, lame, you name it. Everybody, excuse me, everybody is coming for what? For just to see Jesus, not to see Jesus to take autograph, not to see Jesus to take a selfie with him. They want life. They want their life back. They want their health back. The blind and the one who cannot walk and the one who is disabled and the one who maybe have a problem with his tongue, his face, his hands, his legs, multitude of people. To do what? He will heal them. The Muslim, he did not say that. Then we continue. If we go down here, when Jesus he healed, you know, like there is some conversation is mentioned in the Bible about Jesus' conversation with people. So Jesus, he asked a person from the one who healed, do you want to be made well? The sick man answered, sir, I have no man to put me into the pool when the water is stirred up, but while I am coming, another steps down before me. Jesus said to him, rise, take up your bed and walk. And immediately the man was made well. He took up his bed and he walked. And that was the day, that day was the Sabbath. The Jews therefore said to him, who was cured? It is the Sabbath. It's not lawful for you to carry your bed. And look at the stupid people, you know. I mean, the guy, he cannot walk, and now they are worried about the Sabbath. I mean, imagine somebody, he is disabled. We don't know if he's disabled or his life or not, but he cannot walk. And now all what they are worried about is carrying the bed. He answered them, he made me well, said to me, take up your bed and walk. Then they asked him, who is the man who said to you, take your bed up and walk? But the one who was healed did not know who was it. He don't even know who is this person. Jesus had withdrawn a multitude being in that place. Afterward, Jesus found him in the temple and said to him, see, you have been made well. Sin no more, lest the worst thing come upon you. The man departed and told the Jews, and that was Jesus who had made him well. So now he knew. Honor the Father and the Son. For this reason, the Jews persecuted Jesus and sought to kill him because he had done these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered to them, my Father has been working until now, and I have been working. Where is the Abdul? He says to me, Jesus, he said, I can do nothing of my own. You see, now we are going to put you in the corner in the barbecue, and people will laugh at you. Therefore the Jews sought all the more to kill him, because he not only broke the Sabbath, but also said that God was his father. Are you there, Abdul? So Jesus is saying, everything I have, and this is the many verses in the Bible, everything I have, not the flesh, but because I am the Son of God, who born in the flesh itself can do nothing. I am the Son of God. Everything I have is given to me from my Father. And the Jews immediately, they understood that he is just claiming that his Father been working until now, and he is working. Your Sabbath, I am the Lord of the Sabbath. I work in the Sabbath. I do what nobody can do in the Sabbath. I am the Lord of the law I gave you. So the Jews right away, they understood one thing, not like the Muslims, that Jesus, he is claiming that God was his father, making himself equal to God, with God. Are you there, Abdul? What happened to the Abdul? Mir, are you there? Abdul is just repeating the same thing. Now he will keep repeating the same thing. You know, this is what the Abdul do. He repeat the same thing, making himself equal to God. Now, do you see here the disciple of Jesus disagreeing, or they agree? They agree. Then Jesus answered and said to them, most assuredly I say to you. Let us go to the page. The Son can do nothing of himself, but what he sees the Father do. But all of us, we know that nobody can see the Father but the Son. No one can see God and live. Even the Quran confirmed that. Muhammad, he stole it from the Old Testament. But what he sees the Father do. For whatever he does, the Son also does. In that, and like that, and that. So the Muslims, he took from all this amazing where Jesus is speaking of himself, that I am God. They took, says the Son can do nothing of himself. Do you see the cowards? Do you see the hypocrite? So they delete everything and they choose for us that only, that part. He can do nothing of himself. For whatever he does, who? The Father, and the Jews understood that the Father is who? Is God. And they understood that he what? He make himself equal to God. Also the Son can do. Can I say that? Can I say whatever God the Father do, I can do? So the Muslims, they have zero honesty. Their ethic was leaking from the time of Muhammad, and this is why the hole in the narrative is so big, and you cannot find one Muslim have an ethic, while the verses in front of us confirm that Jesus is God and he is the Son of God. And if we continue reading, for the Father loves the Son. You remember Zakir Naik, he says there is many sons in the Bible. Israel is a son. The Bible says his only begotten son. Zakir Naik says the word begotten mean have sex. But the Quran confirmed that Mary, she did not have sex. So Jesus is not born from sex, you liar. Begotten, Mary, she says she begotten a son. But do she have sex? So if the word begotten mean sexual relationship, this is for normal people, but Jesus is a miracle. So here you see the hypocrisy again. So for the Father love the Son, show him all things that he himself does, and he will show him a greater work than these, that you may marvel. For as the Father raises the dead and give life to them, even so the Son give life to whom he will. Are you there, Abdul? So do you see, guys, how this Abdul, he wanted to put Jesus down, He wanted to prove to us that Jesus is not God. But what happened? What happened? The opposite. And now Mir is changing the topic in the speed of light. Look what Mir is asking. Is your Bible preserved? A person who the goat ate his Quran is questioning our Bible. But let us go to the Quran. Isn't it your stupid Quran says that the Bible is preserved? Or now you don't believe in the Quran? If we go to the yellow page of Muhammad, we will find the following. You see, if I answer you, I say, you will say, no, it's not preserved. Let us go to the Quran. And now he will accuse the Quran to be a liar because the Quran is not preserved. And now the problem is solved. Is this your Quran? And this is your translation? Or this is Christian Prince making things up? Hmm? Huh? Confirming what they have? When the scriptures came to them from Allah, confirming what they have. If you don't like this translation, I can change it for you. Do you see the hypocrisy of those people? They go even against their stupid prophet, just hoping that they can have a ground. And in the same time, when Abdul he says, is your Bible is preserved, you stupid idiot? Isn't it the Bible supposedly is the book of Allah? You know, when I say stupidity is amazing, I'm not making a mockery. All those verses saying musaddiqan lima ma'ahum, believing in what they have with them. All those verses. But we have something even bigger. When a Muhammadan showing us his low IQ and he say, is your Bible preserved? Let's agree with you that the Bible of Allah is not preserved. You just gave a big screw to Allah because you just said that Allah is incapable of doing little thing, protecting his book. We are not asking him to do anything. He sent down to you the book with the truth, confirming what came before it. Here we go. And he sent down the Torah and the gospel. Here we go. So Abdul, like this guy, when he questioned the Christians, you know, many Christians, they take a different approach with this. They say, they start proving, don't waste your time. Just laugh at him and says, you know what, the Bible of Allah is screwed. And right away, the Muslim, he will take a hike and he will ride a bike. What wait? What do you mean wait? Isn't it the Injil is the book of Allah? And you are saying that the book of Allah is not preserved? Do you see what happened now? He said, wait, 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 wait. Like, wait, man, wait, please wait. Somebody give him a drink. He's going to shock. Wait. You cannot use the Quran of yourself? Why I cannot use it? I use it all over the place. I'm not going to mention to you. I just came from there. What do you mean I don't you can use it? Actually, even your prophet, Allah said to him, if you have a doubt about what is given to you, which is the Quran, go to Christian Prince. And we can go to the Quran right now and show you. Here we go. So what do you mean you cannot use the Quran? Who are you? Potato. You cannot use the Quran for yourself. So are you saying now you're stupid Allah? He confirmed our book and he confirmed that this book is his book. And then you say to us that his book is stupid, is corrupted, and Allah could not protect it. And now you are saying, please, please don't use my book against me. You idiot. In the court of law, the judge, he used papers signed by you, not by me. A paper signed by me will use against me. Low IQ. Here, the City Muhammad been told by Allah, chapter 10, verse number 94. If you are in doubt about what we revealed to thee, ask those who read the scriptures before you. Come to Christian Prince. Muhammad, he went to Christian Prince. Christian Prince, he said to Muhammad, you are an idiot. This was Christian Prince, he said to him. Correct? Let us go to the Quran. I mean, you know, those Muslims are really hilarious. Honestly, they are really hilarious. Do they knew what they are saying? Let us open chapter 10, verse number 94. Additional humiliation to Muhammad. And why Muhammad he have a doubt about what he been revealed to him? What kind of a prophet himself he don't trust himself to be a prophet? What kind of a prophet he don't trust the Quran? So the Quran confirm our book. The Muslim he confirm it's not confirmed, which means he confirmed that Muhammad is a liar and Allah is a liar. The Quran confirm that Allah is the one who sent down the Torah and the Injil. The Muslim he says, is your book preserved? Which means he is saying that the book which Allah sent is not the book of Allah. Muhammad is a fraud. For Allah, when he said that he is the one who sent down the Torah and he is the one who sent down the Injil, he was a liar, and we agree. Thank you, Mir. You know, Mir, do you like to be an admin in my chat? You know, honestly, do you like to be an admin? You are the best, man. Do we have any Muhammad? You know what? I think I'm going to replace Lisa and put you an admin because you can do better. I mean, Lisa, she is not bringing us customers from Indonesia. Hey, Indonesian people, where is the Ustad? I mean, come on. Here we got Ustaz Mir here. Ustaz Mir is the best. Ignore my other comment. Too late. This guy, he do poo-poo and he tried to cover it. I mean, you know, you do what the dog do. He piss in the tree and he says it's not me. But everybody saw you in the middle of the road. Ignore my other comment. What do you mean ignore? Why you don't call me? By the way, once the prophet, he was pissing in the room. I mean, he's very gentleman. So he like grabbed his private part, like a fire department, you know. And then a man, he walked behind him and said, Assalamu alaikum, Prophet of Allah. Which means the man, actually, he's not saying Assalamu alaikum. He's saying, you know, man, what are you doing? Like, hello? Imagine a guy in the road. He grabbed his private part and he start pissing all over. Do we have any Abdul? Do we have any Abdul? Is Abdul Somad is a Muslim? Is he from Indonesia Muslim? How can a book that has contradiction and mistakes be the word of God? Are you a Muslim, my friend? Abdul Samud? Is he a Muslim? Somebody tell me. He is. Okay. Abdul Samud, I have an offer for you. You call me, Allah will give you big apartment in the front of the beach of Allah. And the beach have 3 beaches, one of milk, one of wine, and one of honey. You swim in the one you like, just call me. Do you dare to call me? Abdul Samud? Are you the guy, the Ustaz from Indonesia? I mean, a Muslim talking about contradiction. When his God, he says something in one page and he say the opposite in the same page. You want to see one in the same page? Let me show you one. You want to laugh? You know, when I say stupidity is amazing, it's amazing. This is chapter 54, verse number 1. It says the hour drawn near and the moon split asunder. Okay? So now, is that a miracle, Muslims? They say it's a miracle. All right. Let us walk down. We are just screaming. You know, let's go. Read with me, Muslims. Read with me, please. Just read with me. All those are miracles. The camel, the she camel, the rope became a camel, and the camel is a braidnet camel. I mean, tons of things, you know, like, okay. And the story of Lut and how he destroyed them. I mean, and then the story of the Pharaoh. Yeah, blah 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 blah. I mean, all those are miracles, right? Any Muslim have any objection with what we show on the screen? Hmm? Any Muslim here, he can deny that this is chapter coming from Allah? Who is a Muslim who don't like it? I don't see any Muslim saying I don't like it. Who is a Muslim he is sure that this chapter is amazing? Any Muslim want to quote us? Look, I mean, a lot of miracles. All of those in one page. Then we go in the Quran. In front of us, we see the Quran having in the name of Allah, the gracious, the most merciful. But the Muslim, they say, nobody can change the word of Allah. But this is not number one. This is number what? The Muslims added and Allah could not do anything about it. And what else? Yet whenever they see a miracle, they turn away and say continues magic. So when they see a miracle, what they do, what they say, it's a magic, so be my witness. And they accuse him of a lie. No problem. We go here, we type here. Look at this. Those verses came long after chapter 54. You see, in the Quran, you might get confused. You say it says chapter 13. So what do you mean came after? Well, the Muslims, they played with their Quran. So the first chapter Muhammad received, and all Muslims agree, it was Iqra, which is 96 today. So the numbers in the Quran are very false, not accurate. Here we see that the same chapter, the chapter of Ar-Ra'd, which means the thunder, chapter 13, those who disbelieve say, why was a miracle not sent down to him from his Lord? And this Abdul speaking about contradiction. So how chapter 54 came long before, and Allah he split the moon to Muhammad, and then chapter 13, which came long after, it confirmed that not a single sign was given to Muhammad. And not only in one place it says that, in the same chapter, if you read with me here, chapter 13:7 and chapter 13:27. Those who disbelieve say, if only a miracle sent down to him from his Lord. Say, Allah leads astray whomever he wills, and guide to himself whoever he will. But look what this is about now. It turned to be Allah cannot do miracles. It turned to be that Allah, he guide and misguide, and this is the only thing he can say. They are asking for a miracle. What his response? It is Allah who misguide and Allah who guide. Which means, if those people are in disbelief, it is because Allah, he misguide them. See, the translation here is a false translation. It says he leads astray. In Arabic it says yudil, he deceive. So why they are in disbelief? And actually even this one here, I mean, even the Muslim translation is so stupid, because Allah is Satan. If we ask the Muhammadan, who is the one who lead people astray? Here we go, we have a Muhammadan here. Who want to help us? Muslims, who is the one who lead people astray? Any Muslim can tell us? Who is the person who lead people astray? I will give you two. Choose one. Allah or Shaitan? Guys, is the text clear? You can read it? Can you read the text? Muslims, I want an answer, very simple answer. Who is the one who lead people astray? Shaitan or Allah? Guys, do you think Muslims, they dare to answer? And this verse in the front of us? They will not dare do, right? Look at them. Let me make it big for you, Muslims. You are, I know that you have a weak vision, because your prophet, he was a rabbit, but you don't eat carrot. That's why he hid from the Christians when they came to debate him, as all of you hide. So look what will happen here. We are asking the Muslims, who is the one who lead people astray? Very simple question. It's not like a science, like science, and it's just a simple question. Who is the one who lead people astray? Who? Any Muhammadan? Let us see if that will change. I changed the size of the text and nothing changed here. I don't know if that will make a difference. Let us see. Is it the same? I think it's the same. Nothing changed. Hold on. This Google did a cheat on us. We thought we changed the size. Okay, let's see. Page zoom, maybe. We change page zoom. We make it 110. Okay, 110 I think will do. Perfect. All right. Did the Muslims answer or not yet? Hey people, and look, look what the Muslim says. Samuel 1 Samuel 15:3, kill both men and women. Okay, Mr. King, do you have the courage to call me and I will show you this is from your Quran and about Prophet Samuel? Is that fair, guys? Do you dare to call me? And we will put this verses in the front of everybody, and I will show you the reference from your book from your hadith, from your interpretation about Samuel, the great man who was telling the Jews to kill the enemy, and they refuse. Are you there? And now the Muslim, they will not complain no more. As long Prophet of Allah, he said it's okay, it's okay. As long Allah, he said it's okay, it's okay. Do you dare, Mr. King? You know, your name is Genius. Are you sure you are genius, not idiots? You stupid idiot. If you know your book, you will never even mention this. But because you Muslims are a bunch of ignorant, you do not know what your book is saying. Like the dad is the one who, because the dad did not read the Quran, the dad never read the Quran, the dad never, the dad, he says, so that's the, so your Bible says that God, he created the sun in Wednesday, so the earth was without sun for Wednesday. You stupid idiot, son of Muta. Isn't the Quran says that the last thing Allah created is the lambs? Not Wednesday. Actually, in the hadith, it says Wednesday. So we have stupid people here. Anyway, I don't want to waste my time with people posting comment. I'm here looking for real men who dare to debate me. So any Muslim, I will give you a chance to argue once, twice, 3 times, but I want you to call me. Is that fair, guys? If you want your voice to be heard, be the man. Call. I mean, look, we put your question in the screen. Do you see how much we are scared of you? And this guy, he is calling me a pig. Look, calling the Christian pigs. Okay, let us talk about pigs. Pigs are useful. Every Muslim make a surgery, the stitches is made by pigs. This is number 1. When you kiss your wife, you idiot, half of the lipstick is made from pork. Number 2, when you eat chocolate, it's pork. Number 3, the pig don't do what Muhammad do. Have you ever heard of a pig going after a baby child? Pig. So who is the pig? And now let me block you after you brought humiliation to your prophet. Go do mut'ah, go. Either you rent yourself or rent somebody in your family. Who is the pig? The pig who is, he asked his daughter to go and rent herself to do boom boom. And you are talking about pigs? The pig is the man who beat his wife. Are you human? The pig is the one who ordered the husband to beat his wife. And you know what? Pigs are smarter than you. Have you ever heard of a pig believe that there's somebody have a flying carpet can carry 600 chairs, 600,000 chairs, and all his kingdom equipment? A pig will die laughing. And you are talking about a pig? This is not even convincing to a goat. Have you ever heard of a pig claiming that he went to the 7th heaven and he came back and he went to Jerusalem in the top of a flying donkey, and he found there 124,000 messenger with 124,000 donkey and not even a single witness? Why? People of Jerusalem, they were asleep 24 hours. Even pig, he can bring better story. And you are talking about pigs? Hey, by the way, guys, I will tell you a true story. Yesterday, this is between us, okay? Please don't record it. Yesterday, I went, I was going to buy some bread from Walmart. And then, I don't know, like an idea came to my head. I said, why I keep buying from Walmart? I said, let me stop buy some bread from Jerusalem. I know a friend there. He owns a bakery. His name is Jack Shalom. So I went there. Jack Shalom, he said, you know what? We are closing. The last loaf of our bread is gone. So I said to him, you know what? I'm not going to go back without bread. So I called my driver. His name is Benjamin Netanyahu. He used to be a prime minister before. But anyway, because he lost his job, so I hired him for some time to be a driver. I called Netanyahu. I said, listen, I want a bread. I want your help. He said, listen, we know an idiot. His name is Mohammed. He have a flying donkey. He can fly to 7 galaxies. in the speed of light. Yet he did not see that the earth is round. He did not feel cold in the space. He did not describe for us how the earth looked like when he was flying. He did not describe for us even how the heaven is, except that there is a door, and they look at the door, and then the angels, they said, who is behind the door? Because they don't have security camera, and they cannot see who's behind the door. So we can call Muhammad, we can send him there, and we tell him we are going to send you a mission to bring not bread, the book of Allah, but I will call my friend in Japan who is selling bread. He will give him a box and he will tell him this is the book of Allah. Muhammad is a fool. He never opened the book. He judged the book by the cover. Inside the book we put the bread. Muhammad, he bring it to you. You eat it. Shish kebab. Do you find my story unbelievable or believable? But this is the story of your prophet. A guy, his name is Solomon. He died holding a stick and nobody noticed that he's dead. And you are talking about pigs? Which pig will believe in this? Hey, Solomon, where you get a stick, man? Go buy a stick, man. So what happened? Well, I felt that I'm going to die. So I said to myself, let me fool them. I will not let anyone knows that I am dying. Okay, Solomon, so what you did? I went to the store and I bought a stick. And that stick was really strong. It took the termite a year to eat it. If you don't believe me, read Ibn Kathir. And you are talking about pigs. The guy, he died. And he's a king. Imagine, Putin, he died. And now Putin is holding a stick. Spasiba, sir. Spasiba, sir. Sir. Putin is not answering. The general, he says, the Ukrainians just took the city of Liman. What we should do, sir? Sir? He's not answering. 2 months after, Kadyrov get in, the dog Kadyrov. Assalamu alaikum, my father, my real father, Putin, the one who used to visit my dad when he is not home. The Ukrainian, they kick us out from Donbass. Shouldn't you do something? Putin is not answering. Sir, I'm Kadyrov, the drug dealer, the one you said I'm like your son. I'm really your son, or you are faking it? Hello? Okay, I will come back next year. Okay, no problem. So one after one, they come, and Putin is not even responding. For how long? Almost a year. If you don't believe me, let me open a Tafsir Ibn Kathir for you. Is that fair? The Muslim, they said he's lying. Chapter 34, verse number 14. If. Really? Yes. A pig. And do you see how they unbelievable heroes in the chat? Let us read, brother, together. And this is Ibn Kathir in English. So what you will say now, this is a website published by you, printed by you, translated by you, everything by you. By the way, Ibn Kathir is a bioweapon. Read with me, read, Abdul. I forgot you do not know how to read. You are just like your prophet. So look, brother. Allah tell us the death of Sulaiman. Allah tell us how Sulaiman, peace be upon him, died, and how Allah concealed his death from the jinn, who were subjugated to him due to hard labor. That's deep. He remained leaning on his stick, which was his staff. As Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, and Mujahid and Hassan and Susu and Mumu and Fufu and Kutada and other, they said he stayed like that for a long, long time, nearly a year. Nearly what? A year. Hold on. Are you sure? A year? Yes, brother. A year. And then when the creatures of the earth, which was kind of worm, I know them, termite, man, evil termite, you know. I used to have a friend in school, his last name is Termite. I mean, he was really, he eat anything his way. You put sausages, he eat it. You put the cheese, he eat it. You put your shoes, he eat it. Termite, what do you expect? So Mrs. Termites and her cousins, they start chewing the stick of cinnamon. And Suleiman is leaning on the stick. Subhanallah. 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 Subhanahu wa ta'ala. The king of a kingdom is dead, leaning on his stick. Nobody noticed because Allah decided to conceal his death. How? By leaning on the stick. Be honest. How many of you is not going to take shahada right now? So the termite, brother, the termite, are you kissing yourself, computer? You call yourself computer and you're asking me what I'm kissing? Okay. Potato. When the creatures of earth, which was kind of worm, ate through the stick, it become weak, brother. Look at the details. Because how the stick is going to break and everybody will know he's dead now? I mean, come on, a year is too much. We have to break the stick. It become weak and fell to the ground. Oops, Prophet of Allah fell on the ground. Is that legal? And then it became apparent that he had died a long time before. It's also become clear to the jinn and the man alike that the jinn do not know the unseen. This is the unseen? I mean, the guy is dead in the front of them. And this is the unseen. Brother, this is the unseen. The guy is dead in the front of me. This is the unseen. He's leaning in the stick. It's unseen stick. It is unseen stick. It is unseen messenger of Allah. It's unseen king. It's unseen Suleiman. Mansoor, he have a question that's deep. 3 questions. Look. The Muslim, he have 3 questions. Mansoor, we are spanking your prophet for the last 2 hours. All what we said, you have nothing to say except 3 questions? I mean, don't you see that you are really a hypocrite potato? No comment about what we said. Do you want to answer what we said? I have a 3 questions, friends. You remind me of the Jews when they come to Muhammad and they said to him, we will ask you about 3 things. Nobody knows the answer for them save a prophet of Allah. And guess what? All the Jews, they knew the answer. How stupid is that? If nobody knows the answer, 3 questions, nobody knows their answer save a messenger of Allah. And every single Jew of those Jews, he knew the answer. That means all of them, they are messenger of Allah. Stupidity. Guys, he is submitting completely. I was afraid you will submit a part. I mean, if you submit a part alone, that will be a problem. Oh, I forgot. There is somebody he submit a part to Allah. Do you know who? Do you know who is the one who submit a part to Allah? Do you have an idea? Thanks God, I am a Muslim. Submit completely to will of a creator. Okay, let's talk about the will of the creator. Is it true that the will of the creator that you will be a fornicator? Let's read about the will of the creator, which this Abdul is speaking of. Shall we? This is the hadith of Muhammad. The will of the creator. He submitted the will of the creator to be a fornicator. And now he will say, hey, no, I don't submit to that. Hey, come on, you love it. Be honest. Verily Allah has fixed the very portion of adultery which a man will indulge in and which he of necessity must commit. The adultery of the eye. It is lustful look. As Muhammad was doing that, he looked at the ass of the woman, he go to his wife. The adultery of the tongue. Muhammad, he was speaking about sex and women like non-stop, and etc. And then the adultery of the private part. This is what? This is Allah has a fixed portion, very portion of adultery, which a man will indulge in. So the Muslims, when they say we surrender to Allah, not submit, this is false translation. Islam means surrender, not submit. He surrender to the will of Allah, as he said in the comment, which is destiny. And here you ask yourself, how stupid this religion is. We showed you the verses from the Quran says, when they asked Muhammad about miracle, he said, Allah, he guide who he will, and he mislead who he will. So he submit this Abdul to the will of Allah. He submit to who? You remember when we asked, who is the one lead people astray? Shaitan or Allah? All the Muslims, they went quiet. All the Muslims, they went so quiet. Because the answer is an embarrassment. Who is the one he lead people astray? This is the will of Allah. It's not the will of Shaitan, for Shaitan is not exist in Islam. Allah is Shaitan. So Allah as a Shaitan, he is the one who will lead people astray. It's in front of you. If you ask any Muslim without telling him what the question is, like you want, without showing him his verse, you say to him, who is the one who will lead people astray? He will say automatically, Shaitan. If you don't believe me, ask Abdus Somad to answer, or ask Masood to answer. Muslims, who is the one who lead people astray? Anyone? What do you think? Mansoor, Mansoor, you are the one who want to tell us about what the Old Testament says. If we open it, we will die laughing at you. What about you answer me about who is the one who lead people astray, and I will go to Job and I will read for you as much as you want. Is that fair, guys? Is that fair? Can you answer us? And tell us who is the one who lead people astray? What do you think? Very simple question, man. I mean, what is the problem? If you can't answer this one, what you can answer? Who is the one who lead people astray? Muhammadan. Who is the one who lead people astray? Why it's hard? What is the problem? Potatoes. Anyone? Not a single Muslim can answer? So do you see why I use the word potato? I mean, look how scared they are. Very simple question. Who is the one who lead people astray? I don't want people in the chat chatting. I want people to call me Christian Prince, Iblis and his followers. Okay, wonderful. Here we go, guys. Iblis and his followers, you lead people astray as well. Now answer my question. No. We have to finish it and we will answer your question. The verse in front of us saying that you are a liar, the one who lead people astray is Allah. Can you read? Chapter 13, verse number 27. And then we will go to Job. Why you are lying? We said, who is the one who lead people astray? You said Shaitan and his followers. Are you saying that Allah is Shaitan and you are his followers? You are the one who just said that the one who lead astray is Shaitan and he have followers. The verse in front of us saying the opposite. People be my witness. Mansoor, he agreed that his God is Shaitan. Say yes, and I will go to the book of Job. Say yes. Say, I agree that Shaitan is my Allah, and Allah and Shaitan is one. Everybody, you see, this is your comment. It's on the screen. And the verse in the front of it, those who disbelieve say, if only a miracle was sent down to him from his Lord. Say, Allah lead astray whomever he wills. And your answer is there, witnessing that Iblis and his followers is the one who lead people astray. That means Allah and his followers, aka Iblis, is the one who lead people astray. Agree, and I will go to the book of Job. Say yes. Just say yes, I agree. Allah is the one, he is Iblis. And I will go right away. Can you fix the screen? I don't know. I cannot do. You see, I don't have a good equipment here. Any Abdul? Palestine. How many times I told you? Don't come here with this name, you idiot. Why you are stupid? Just to block him, this Palestine. Mansoor, Christian Prince, is minister translation. You stupid idiot. This is your translation. Guys, can you believe it? Christian Prince is mistranslation. Okay, let's see. This is a translation of who? Itani Allah. What translation you want, Mansoor? Give me a translation you want. Okay, what about Yusuf Ali? Is Yusuf Ali is okay? What about Hilali and Khan? Hilali and Khan. And now he will say Hilali and Khan, they are mistranslation too. Here we go. Verily Allah, Muhammad Hilali and Muhammad Khan, to Muhammad, translating the Quran. Verily Allah sends astray whom he wills and guide into himself who he will. So the one who sent them astray is Allah. He sent them to what? Not to worship him. To worship who? Shaitan. Because you are the one who said Shaitan and his followers is the one who lead people astray. Let me go back to your comment and put it in the screen. It's priceless. Where is the comment of Masood? Allah and Shaitan, the Shaitan lead people astray and his followers. Here we go. It means Allah he plan against, but it says yudil. Why the Muslim don't say plan? In Arabic it says yudil. You don't speak Arabic, you're a potato like your prophet. You said that the one who mislead is Allah. Can you find me one translation is not saying Allah mislead? Can we go to dictionary, Mansoor? What about we open the dictionary? Is that fair, people? I can open dictionary right now in front of everybody with it on screen. Whatever the Muslim dictionary says, I will accept. Whatever your dictionary says, I will not even question. I promise. I know you answer me, Iblis and his followers. But in this case, do you agree that Allah is Iblis? If Allah, if the one who mislead is Iblis, which means Shaitan, and Allah saying, I am the one who mislead, I'm the one who lead people astray. So what's wrong with you as Muslims? Do Allah have two character, double personality? In the morning he is Allah, after night, afternoon he is Iblis? We have almost 800 people and not a single Muslim can answer. What a shame. And you know the funny is, a Muslim he go to the book of Job and he speak. I mean you see, they are very silly and very stupid, and it's just silly. I mean, just like a diarrhea, like their God. Did you know who's talking? Who's talking? This God, he is desperate, he is sad. People are sinning, people are not listening, people are etc. And he's saying, like, what happened? I don't deserve to this, I don't deserve that. This is not about God cannot reject you, stupid idiot. I mean, when we explain a verse in the Quran, we open for them Ibn Shartuta, Ibn Bartuta, Ibn Nattuta, Ibn Kathir, Ibn Khartuta. And when the Muslim he read a verse from the Bible, he is the scholar. That's it. He explained it for us. He said to you, it says this. Like, we go there where it says that. Where it says that? It says this there. Suddenly Abdul, who follow a literate prophet, who he believe that if a man have orgasm first, the baby will be a boy. If a woman have orgasm first, the baby will be a girl. He is explaining to us the verse. A person who he believe in the Quran, where it says the sun set in the murky water. We asked them, well, they say, no, CP. It doesn't say that, CP. It says that it is from the perspective of Zulkarnain. Okay, did Allah drop the word perspective? And you Muslims are adding it to fix it? Look like Allah, he do not know how to speak Arabic. Perspective, where is the word? Allah is saying what he found. He found near it. He found what? Near it. So not only he found where the sun set, he found near it people. Is that from his perspective too? So the desperate Muhammadan who don't dare even to explain a stupid Quran. However, Muhammad, he got them busted. He explained it. Let us go to Muhammad. Look what Muhammad said. Man, I love hadith books. I'm so thankful that the goat did not eat the hadith, ate the Quran only. Look at this priceless hadith. And the Muslim, they try to dump it. Oh boy, Muhammad, he cannot keep his mouth shut. The talkative prophet. I was sitting behind the messenger of Allah. Never sit in the front of Muhammad. It's dangerous. He will take your wallet. Don't take me wrong. I'm not talking about sexual things. He will take your wallet. He's a thief. Been accused by Muslims and his companion that he steal panties. So I was sitting behind Allah Messenger, who was riding a donkey while the sun was setting. He asked, do you know? Do you know? Look how romantic. Do you love me? Do you? Do you? Do you hate me? Romantic. The prophet and a donkey. The guy behind them. He saw the sunset. The prophet said to the companion, do you know where the sun set? The companion, he could not answer. He was astonished with the question. Oh no, the prophet is going to make a poo-poo. He will tell us where the sun set. I replied, Allah and his apostles knows best. The Muslims are kuffar. They are pagan. They associate the knowledge of their God with the knowledge of a man. His name is Muhammad. So I replied, Allah and his apostle knows best. You see, Muhammad did not say to him, don't say that, man. Don't say Allah and his apostle. You know, come on. I know nothing. I learned from Allah. No, Allah and his apostle know best. Mushrikeen. He said, it's set in a spring of warm water. Hamia. Actually, warm is false. Hamia mean very hot. This is even extreme hot. Like, you know, the Quran used the word hamia. You see, if you go in the Quran, speaking about Jahannam, this is how hot it is. Hamia. You see, chapter 88, verse number 4, chapter 101, verse number 11. So the word hamia is not warm. Do you see it? But to try to make the statement of Muhammad less damaging, you don't see. Hold on. I opened the you can't see the screen. Hold on, give me a second. You did not see the screen, right? Which screen is open for me? In the screen here. Okay, here. Let's go to Hamia. I opened different browser. All right. Look at this. Do you see what Hamia mean? This is chapter 88, verse number 4. Tusla naran hamiyah. Hamiyah. They will enter in a hot blazing fire. This is what hamiyah mean. The liars in the translation, they say, how warm water. Just trying to duct tape the prophet, he's leaking. And actually, that's what I like about Muhammad. He is so cute. This guy, he cannot keep his mouth shut. You know, like there is, you know, like once I saw a Doberman and I saw a Chihuahua. And the Chihuahua, he want to jump at the Doberman. I mean, he want to eat him alive. And the Doberman is not even moving. He's looking at the guy like, what the heck? Who's this guy? Who's this little one? What do you want? You look so cute. So the Muhammadan, when they think they are attacking Christianity, and they bring us what their Quran is saying, their God and their prophet is like a Chihuahua trying to scare the Doberman. And the Doberman is looking down and says, what the heck is this guy want? What are you saying? Do you want me do you want your nanny? Where's your mama? Where is your mama? Look, you see, look at the wisdom. Ignorance is not only a sign of insecurity, but also a sign of immaturity. Muhammad, he was mature. When he went after a child, she is not mature. Mature and fully realized person, man, can get their point across. Yeah, what is the point? What is the point when Muhammad he said that the women she come in the image of the devil and she retreat in the image of the devil? Is he speaking about your mom or your sister or your daughter or your wife? The women. I mean, you see the maturity? Mature. Hmm? Very mature. Saying all women are shaitan. And when she come and when she leave, she is shaitan. Can you, Mr. Maturity, print this hadith and put it in the top of the bed of your mother in her bedroom? Can you be mature enough and be proud about what Prophet say? I'm assuming that you are very mature. So do you dare the mature you to print this and put it in the top of your mother's grave if she's dead? This is mature. Women, she come in the image of the devil and she retreat in the image of the devil. So all of us, we are born of the devil. And if we believe that women are the devil, why Muhammad want to have as many as he can? And why he promised you a lot of them? Is that the mature? Was Muhammad mature when he said, when you go to heaven, you will if a woman dahman dahman, which mean like this? Excuse me? Was he mature when he says your penis will be endless? Is that how prophet of God he speak? Abdul speaking about maturity. How funny. How funny. Anyway, guys, look like there's no Muhammadan there to call us. As you see, it's already 2 hours and it's time to go. 2 hours and 12 minutes, 13 minutes. Usually when I say, okay, guys, I'm leaving, it takes like another hour before I leave. No, 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 no. It's not going to happen unless a Muslim call me in Skype. But no Muslim call me. Oh, hold on. We have a Muslim here. Nabil Hassan. I did not notice that some Muslims are texting me. It says Nabil is not online. Okay. When you allow Christian to ask questions, my friend, the chat is open. Maybe next time, if we go, maybe we will see. We can take a call from Christians. I am your brother from the Philippines. I love your videos. Have a lot of knowledge. God bless you, CP. My friend John. Okay, we will make a time where we take only Christian calls. Is that good? But this is what we do. When we say Christian can call, nobody wanna call. When we say only Muslim can call, Muslim can call. So now all of them, they are texting, but when we ask them to call, they don't call. When we say Christian call, they don't call. What's happening here? It must be Harut and Marut. Hey, by the way, Mr. Maturity, is it okay if I join Harut and Marut school to learn how to make magic so a man divorce his wife, brother? Because I'm very mature. So I decided to join Harry Potter school. And I told the teacher, the professor at my university of the idiots, where Muhammad graduated, peace be upon him. I said to him, is it okay? Is it mature to go to Harut and Marut school and learn the black magic which I can use to divorce the wife from her husband? Very mature God. Have you ever heard of a God? He sent 2 angels and they land in the Babylon tower by the river of the Babylon Where we sat down, Harut just came. Whatever. I mean, what a story. Harut and Marut sent by Allah, and they open a school. And when they teach somebody, they make them sign a disclaimer. Hold on before you join the classroom. But they say to them, we are only for trial. Beta software. So disbelieve not by learning magic from us. Like, you stupid idiot, you are teaching magic to them, and you are saying to them, disbelieve not by, what the heck? And who sent them? Allah. And those from those angels people learn that which they call separation between man and his wife. Listen, if you are a person who got divorced, if you are a male or female and you get divorced, now we know who is behind it. It was Harut and Marut. Harut, he teach how to divorce the husband. Marut, he liked the women. He teach how to divorce the women. Two teachers, two specialty. Both of them, they lost their tooth. That's why when they speak, they say, but then sister, today we are going to teach you how to do black magic. And today I'm going to learn how to divorce the veteran. Like, what the heck? So take with you an umbrella, because Harut and Marut, they speak like Zakir and Naik. Where is Mr. Mature? Have you ever heard of a God? I mean, do your God is a school of evil? He opened a school, and the purpose of the school, look how good this God, man. Look how wonderful he is. Man, I hate Harut and Marut. He destroy my family. My friend, it's okay. It's okay. We can fix it. We can fix it. No problem. Don't worry. Be happy. Don't worry. Be happy. Oh boy. And they were talking about mature. The mature God who opened a school to divorce the wife from her husband. You know, once one of you, I don't know if you are here, I received a text message from a wife of one of you. I don't know if he's still in the here. She said to me, Christian Prince, because of you, we are going to divorce. I said, what happened? I could not ignore this comment in Skype. She said, my husband, he don't spend time with us. He eat, he's watching your video. He go to the bed, he is watching your video. He go to the bathroom, he have the phone watching your video. You ruin our life. So I told the guy, from now on, you like, this was like in the PalTalk, PalTalk chat room. So I told him, from now on, I will ask the admin to set a timing for you. The second you enter, I will give you 1 hour. After that, we are going to bounce you, and the bounce will take 24 hours. He cannot come back again to the same chat room. So honestly, I told the admins, the second you see her name, put the watch. 1 hour. If he exceed the 1 hour, throw him out. He said, please don't do that to me. She's exaggerating. We want a divorce. We will not. She's just, and she said to me, thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate you. Now I know, actually, and later she asked me, can you make it 2 hours for him? Because he is like begging for me to talk to you. At that time, I used to make like a short video. I mean, 10 hours, 12 hours. Can you believe it? People go sleep, come back, and we are beating Allah, making a lot of Muslims leave Islam. We came to PalTalk, and then there's person taking Shahada, and that person taking Shahada. In the beginning, I believe really that this is true, because half of them, they are false. But then, whoever he took Shahada for real, they left Islam, and they start spitting at Muhammad. So it was a great time, and it was a great days to spend, speaking the truth, bringing people to Christ. And trust me, every minute we spend here, it is not a loss. Did we learn something new today in the Bible? As an example, did we learn today that the Bible says that nobody can count the miracle of Jesus? We did, right? Nobody can count. There is no book can count the miracle of Jesus. Isn't that amazing? Actually, I find it amazing that even when the Muslims he ask us to read a chapter in the Bible, even that one it says how Jesus he healed multitude of people, multitude, which nobody can count. So, my friend, if you are a Christian, remember you are a follower of the most amazing Almighty. His name is amazing. His act is amazing. His ethic is amazing. His love is amazing. Not everyone says to me, God will enter the kingdom of my Father, but the one who do his will. And what is the will? Is to believe in Jesus, to follow Jesus, to worship Jesus, to obey Jesus. The same as the Son, the same as the Father, the same as the Father do, I do. Life and judgment in the hand of the Son, who is the judge in the judgment day, even in the cult of Muhammad, Jesus. Who gave life? Jesus. Even the Quran says Jesus, he breathed into the bird and he gave it life. It says that Jesus, he resurrect people from death. Jesus. Even the enemies of Jesus. Yesterday we showed you what a Muslim he was insulting Jesus by quoting some Jews from the Talmud, which is the Antichrist book, saying Jesus, he went to Egypt, he learned magic, that's why he can do miracles. But by saying that, they agreed and they confessed, the enemy of Jesus, that Jesus did amazing miracles. We know that going to what Egypt? When Jesus went to Egypt, when he was an infant, and if I go to Egypt now, I can learn how to resurrect people from death and heal multitude of people. Even the enemies of Jesus could not ignore. Even with his name, Borat, Rahman, this potato, he admit that the disciple they saw Jesus after resurrection. He was killed. He was killed, he was buried, and they saw him. He admit that obviously Jesus, he did a lot of miracles. And then how you can deny that Jesus, who is Jesus? People who deny Jesus, they are suffering from mental illness. And I feel sorry for you. My friend, repent before it is too late. For no name can save you except his name. The one who said, love your enemy. Nobody can come with this. Not even in 2000, a million years from now. Love your enemy. But the person who says to you, love your enemy, time will come and he will come with no mercy. He will cast people who deserve hell to hell and those who deserve heaven to heaven. So don't risk it. Time goes so fast. Yesterday you were born. Today you die. And your life will be taken from you. And your soul will be taken from you. And then you will deserve the judgment. And by their fruits you shall know them. The Lord's words will never die. And his fruits is the fruit of God. The same sentence he said, from their fruits you shall know them, is the same reason we believe in him to be the Almighty, the Messiah, the Son of God. For he is the fruit. I am the truth. I am the life. I am the resurrection. And no way but by me. And yet they say to you, the cowards, the liars, where Jesus said, I am God, worship me. Thank you very much for being here. May the Lord bless you all, keep you good health and wealth. We pray for all those who need prayer. We pray for the sick. We pray for the poor. We pray for those who are suffering, struggling in their life. Life is a struggle if you are alone. But if you are with the Messiah, you are not alone. And life is different. So take him in your side or stay alone. It's up to you. For me, I take him in my side. I am the sinner. I am the person who is in the flesh, who live his life. We desire things which is not right. We say things which is not right. We do things which is not right. How we can claim to be good enough to be alone? Everything in our life is wrong. Without him, we are totally lost. So repent when repentance works. Time will come and no repent can help you, for you are dead. We pray that those who need the Messiah, they are going to find him in their way. We pray that those who want the truth, they will find the truth. And when you find the truth, you find Jesus. You know, the Lord, he says, read the books. Read the books. And what you will find in the books, you will find the truth. And what the truth will do, will set you free. While Muhammad, he make you a sex slave, addicted to sex, addicted to food and fruits and drunk and wine and river of wine. Jesus, he free you. You are free with Jesus. You are a slave with Allah. You are a child of God with Jesus. You are a slave of Allah with Muhammad. Which one is the one you want? You want to be the slave of God, evil God, have zero ethic, or you want to be a child of God who will enter the kingdom of God as a prince or a princess? He and she, they will not get married. It is a holy kingdom of the holy God. We will be different creatures. Happiness cannot be measured by food. This is only for those who they are living for physical joy, physical entertainment, physical intimate. Those who follow Shaitan, everything for them is about physical. God is a spirit, and his happiness is a spiritual, and that is the most high happiness. Thank you all for being here. Until we see you soon again, don't forget to download the videos, share them with your friends. All my videos, all my services for free. And the Lord, he says, for free you took, for free you give. This is your brother was helping you, serving you humbly for today, Christian Prince. Until we see you again. God bless. Take care.